We bring in guests to share their knowledge and wisdom about the real estate market and how best you can make sure that you put yourself in the best position to leverage your real estate and to make good decisions about either buying or selling or investing or remodeling or whatnot. And I'm very excited today to have my good friend and brother in Christ, Ben Love, on my show today.
Well, I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you for the invite, and super excited to kind of share this information with everybody.
Absolutely. I always love me some Ben Love. So I want you to start out a little bit and tell us about your background, primarily in the real estate space. You've been here for a long time, and what you're doing now. You just recently got a promotion, so I want you to share some of that as well.
Okay, yes. So started in real estate in 2002. Was working with a home builder down in the valley, city called Harlingen, Texas, right down by the border. And I worked there for 5 years, from 2002 2007, kind of seen like the crash coming. It was like, I need to be able to have more inventory to sell. I just don't want to be able to sell in one community.
Sure.
So went to the local college, got my real estate license. And as soon as...
Oh, you were selling new homes at the time?
Yeah. So first 5 years, and it was great because it helped me develop skills of sitting down and having conversation and seeing what clients really needed. Mm-hmm. So when I did that, 2007, all of a sudden get my license, and I go with a small brokerage. No instruction. This is where I started.
It's a different world. That resale market.
It really is. And I think I started to discover how important culture and the environment was. After 3 months, I knew that was not a place that I wanted to be. And I moved forward, and I went to Keller Williams. And so I stayed down in the valley for 3 years. 2010, decided I needed to move up to Austin, Texas. And that's what happened.
Where the action is.
That's where it happens, right? This is the motherland for...
It is. It's the jewel of the
right?
state.
Keller Williams, born and raised in Austin, Texas.
That's right.
And so I came, and I was here for 3 months, knew nobody. I had a 1998 Dodge Intrepid car with faded paint, and the front tire, I remember, wobbling at 45 miles an hour, right? And then I'm pulling into this parking lot with Mercedes and Lexus and BMWs and Audis, and I'm just like, how am I going to make it back into this market?
Yeah.
Long story short, I ended up actually homeless.
Wow. I didn't know that.
No? Oh, wow.
That's a story.
So I ended up homeless. I had $50 to my name and like a quarter tank of gas. And at that point,
That's amazing.
I had a decision before me. It was like, okay, do I continue in this career because I believe this is where God had me and to serve people? Or do I call my mom back home in California and say, hey, Mom, I'm not making it out here.
Send me $1,000 or something. Yeah.
Well, not even send me $1,000. She'll be like, come home, mijo. It's okay. Yeah, I got a space for you.
Right.
But I decided that I needed to stay here. And but this was a big piece of my life because that's where I actually started to really build a foundation in my faith. I remember driving around Monday and thinking, I just can't drive around because I don't got gas or money to be doing that. And so I was sleeping in my car in the hotel parking lot across from where our office was. Luckily for me, they had a shower in the office. So developed skills. Right.
Yeah. Survival skills.
Started waking up at 5 o'clock so I could go and take a shower.
Yeah.
And then start working. And so now that's part of this habit that I have. I just an early riser.
Yeah.
But that's also where God directed me to. Tuesday night, I found a men's group. They had food, they had drinks for me, and then they had fellowship. Wednesday night, I found that's where I would serve in the children's ministry in service. Thursday, I found this great home group, and these 4 guys ended up being my 4 best friends today.
Awesome.
Right?
Awesome.
Friday, another small group. Saturday, another men's group that met at 6 a.m. and they had tacos. And at the end, they'd be like, hey, we got all these extra tacos. Oh, yeah. I mean, God is providing these little things, but right. I'm just like,
it's called grace. Yeah.
Exactly. So from that point on, That was my life for about 3 weeks. And then when God knew, okay, I finally
Not
got you,
3 years.
not 3 years, 3 weeks, got my attention, and he knew that that's what it was going to take to get me founded and coming back home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, from there, doors just started opening
Yeah.
up again. 2011, started working for a local home builder. Started having paychecks, started having success.
Hmm.
Was moved around to many communities, so I started to learn the area really well. But I knew that's not where I wanted to be. 2012, ended up back at Keller Williams, and 2015 is when he just blew the gates off.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
yeah, it was incredible. My whole goal as a person in life was two things: one, to make six figures, and then two, to get an American Express card. And simple goals in life, right? But that's what happened in
You could have
2015.
mine. I'll have a balance on it. I'll give you mine.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm trying to be a good steward
That's
here,
right.
Mark.
That's
Trying
right.
to be a good
Amen.
steward. 2017, I just decided, man, I'm praying to God. Thank you, God, for everything you did for me in real estate. But now I'm ready to go work for the church. And I clearly heard the Holy Spirit say, "Fool, what are you talking about? I
Mm.
gave you these gifts and talents to serve people, and you could do more for the kingdom outside four walls of a
Hmm.
building."
Hmm.
So at that point, that's when I decided to change my business to a ministry.
Yeah. Well, and I've noticed that over the years, and I really respect that and appreciate that because it's kind of rare. That what I call marketplace ministry, where you bring in your talents as far as your real estate knowledge, but also walk with the Lord in that to serve people at a higher level. So I just want to acknowledge that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think you come to a realization that everything that I have just came from God.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing by my own doing. The relationships, the skills and talents, this was all God given. So who am I to withhold from him,
Yeah.
right?
Amen.
Um,
And I also want to talk about a little bit about your recent change or promotion, if you will, into a new role within inside the Keller Williams office.
exactly. Again, this is a God thing, right? I am now the team leader, CEO of the Keller Williams Market Center in Cedar Park. Never thought that I would be running a whole market center.
Yeah.
So it's incredible, and it's a new position for me. But again, it's all about leadership and serving.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, between this idea of being homeless to the team lead and fit 12 years or something, you could do a real reality TV show. Plus, you're a golfer.
well,
You're multi-talented.
yeah, golfing is not quite as
Yeah.
where I want to be
Don't quit your day job.
for sure.
But
But
let's dig in a little bit around let's dig in a little bit around the market.
okay,
Because
cool.
you've sold a lot of real estate over the years. You've seen good times and not so good times. So tell us, update us where we in August of 2023. What do you see?
Yeah, first and foremost, this would be the thing that I would say to anybody: never stop learning. Always be continuously seeking out to better yourselves, so that this way you can give better information
That's
to
right.
your clients, right? Um,
You like to come to my lunch and learns.
I do like to go to your lunch and learns. I learned a lot of great
Yeah,
things.
I don't.
Plus, you have a bunch of great relationships with people who just want to come and again.
Yeah, and give.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's a beautiful thing. So
appreciate
I
that.
mean, I think that speaks highly of who you are.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. So the market, again, it depends on who you listen to, who's the messenger that you're listening to,
Mm-hmm,
right? If
mm-hmm.
you listen to the news, right, they're talking about the sky is falling, and this is now a horrible time. It's like 2007 all over again. That's an absolute lie.
Yeah,
Like, all I know is this is what time is the best time to buy a house? It's right now,
right.
right? Yeah.
It was
What
5 years ago,
it was
but
5 years ago.
now it's today.
And I think what happens is the perception. We've lost how to communicate with our clients
Mm-hmm.
and help interpret information, because we're coming out of this era where no skill sets, let's be honest, were really needed.
Right.
You just put a sign out and
You had 20 offers
yeah,
or 10 or whatever.
in 5 minutes.
Right.
Right. Now we're coming in back into a time where skills is going to be very, very vital in communication and listening to what people are saying.
Right.
And
And
so,
strategy.
yeah. And so I look at it like this. Imagine if you went to Vegas and you went into the casino with $100, right? And within 2 hours, you're already up to $1,000.
Mhm.
And you're like, woohoo, this is fantastic. This is great. And then you end up staying in the casino for another 18, 20 hours. But you walk away with only $300.
Mhm.
You were up to 1,000, but now you're at 300.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as one, man, I had $1,000 and I lost 700. Or the truth of the matter is, hey, you started with $100 and you actually gained $200.
That's right.
And so that's today's market,
Yes.
right? There was an opportunity like a year and a half, 2 years ago for you to tap out and say, this is great.
Right.
But the reality of it is even in today's market, a majority of people who bought their house 3 to 4 years ago are still walking away with over 6 figures.
That's right. I even say, I said this before on this show, actually, my wife and I bought another property in May of last year, which is really the top of the market,
Yep.
in my opinion. And we didn't know this correction was going to come. Let's face it. I didn't know. I knew it was going to come at one point. I just didn't know how deep it was going to be. And we put quite a bit of money in this remodel in Lakeway. And literally, we are probably, when I say upside down, we may be at a break even if we were to sell today. And I'm not even worried about it. I'm thinking because eventually Austin real estate has always done well, you know?
Yeah.
So we're not planning on selling it. We're planning on living there for a while. And I don't see any problems with that right now. So markets come and go, but the general trend is always going to be up.
Yeah. I mean, the reality of it is this, is if you look at it from a historic point, taking the last 30 years, when we had that big increase in 2019, 2020,
Mhm.
you know, the average growth rate of a healthy market is about 4% year over year.
Mhm. That's right.
Okay. So
We saw 10, 20% maybe.
we were seeing 17, 18, 20%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what that big increase did was it took the balance from the 2007 to 2010 crash,
Mhm.
where people were dropping value of their home, and all it did was bring us up to par at a 4-year at a 30-year 4%
Mhm.
increase year
That's
over
back
year.
to where it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so are we a little above it today? Yes, but you're starting to see it level out. So the housing market is always going to do what the housing market's going to do.
Right.
And that's why it's always one of the safest bets to increase your net worth.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. So speaking about inventory, obviously inventory is up from it was maybe a year and a half ago. And are you starting to see prices? They've come down some. They've settled at most areas. Are you seeing them start to bottom out as far as prices, or it depends on the area?
It depends on the area, and the reality of it is it also depends on the agent, right?
Oh yeah.
This, like I said, we're in a skill set market. Are you training and getting training on how to become a better person who can analyze prices?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you depending on artificial intelligence to do the work for you?
Right.
Right.
Right. AI is the latest,
Yeah.
greatest thing, they
Well,
say.
That's why when people look at Zillow, all it is an algorithm.
Right.
Right. And so it's saying, it's not taking the details, but it's taking this whole big data information overload and saying, well, based on all this data, here's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not taking into consideration, what are the finish outs of this home?
Mm-hmm.
What are the finish outs of that home? What does the curb appeal look like?
Right.
Is the neighborhood trending up, trending down, or is it stable?
Right.
So there's all these different pieces that go into it. So again, what are you doing to help your clients? And I think right now what we're seeing is a lot of people who are trying to people please versus people lead.
Mm,
People are
I
looking
like
to
that.
us. Yeah, they're looking to us. We're the professionals,
Yeah.
right? So we need to lead them, and leading them sometimes is going to lead through a tough conversation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But too many times people back down from that tough conversation and be like, okay, yeah, we'll sell it at that price. And that's where you see why a lot of homes are above price,
And they're sitting.
and they're sitting,
Hmm.
and they're still coming down. And Joe Public also is about usually 6 to 8 months behind what the market is going on anyway.
That's
Some
right.
some people are still living like it's 2021.
Yeah. And my guess is, and I don't know this for a fact, but I've got a client that's looking in the Vanya area down towards Circle C at the million plus and over.
Yeah.
And he says, as far as he can tell, the sellers aren't really budget much. There's not a whole lot of negotiation, which kind of surprises me. I said, well, maybe the fact is that people are just putting on the houses on the market to see what they may be able to get, but they don't have to sell. Are you seeing some of that too? They're
I
saying, hey, I'm going to throw it out there. If I get it, great. If I don't, no problem.
I see that, and I think you're spot on. And again, I don't mean to harp on the skill set, but
Yeah.
it comes back down to what kind of conversations are we having with people? What is their motivation and situation for selling?
Yeah.
Like for myself, if somebody was not motivated to actually sell their home and wanted to list it 150, 200,000 over list price, I don't want to put my sign out there and
No.
have other people look and say, "Why
What's
is
the matter
that?"
with him?
Yeah, that person ain't no good.
That's
They
right.
didn't sell their house. And so understanding that communication, I think, is two things. One, it's listening very good, right? Like listening to what people are saying and then asking questions so that this way you can get the information so that you can help together guide them and lead them to achieve what their main goal is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My business, we talked about this a little bit before we came on. My business this year, for the most part, has been not totally, but a combination of first-time buyers and relocation buyers. That's been primarily what I've been seeing, because the first-time buyers were sort of priced out of the market in 20 and 21 and some of 22 because they couldn't price it. They couldn't spend another 50 grand on a property. They didn't have the money,
Yeah.
But now we're sort of moving back into a place where even though rates are high, they're saying, well, look, I'm paying, $3,000 a month in rent. I can go out and get a mortgage for that, So we're starting to see that, and also relocation buyers who are selling a house in California, New York, or Jersey, or where they're coming from, and they've got cash, number one, because they've got equity, and the rates aren't a big concern for them because they want to buy real estate in Austin, Texas. What are you seeing on your in your marketplace? You're more in Cedar Park, Leander,
Yes.
generally speaking. Williamson County.
Definitely more north. Yeah. Williamson County would be a pretty good, accurate definition of where I do a lot of my business. Um, I see the same thing. I see like a lot of first time home buyers who now have, I love to call it hope,
Yeah.
right? Because they were losing out to all these cash buyers who were coming in and inflated our market,
Yeah.
right? So now all of a sudden this inflation comes in, they didn't have a chance. Now they're having opportunity to say, okay, where can I find value?
Mhm,
Right? Like
mhm.
2 years ago, it was just find me a house. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how small,
Right.
big, whatever. Just
Yeah.
get me in a house. To
Crazy.
to today, where it is, you know what? Now I got choices and I got options. Now I can go ahead and get the house that I'm really looking for.
Yep.
And the right agent will help you find that home, get you in the right price, and help you understand why real estate is still such a great foundational piece, not only for a strong family, but a strong economic future.
Yeah, and we're not seeing, at least as far as I can tell, back in the day, of course, it's been years ago, we're seeing a lot of short sales and foreclosures and stuff like that after the crash. We're not really seeing that today.
Was that when the caves were really big?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But we haven't done a short sale in 10 years, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because people can still get out if they bought a property in the last few years.
Yeah, and I think that's an important piece, right? To understand 2007, the crash was for completely different reasons
Absolutely.
than today's market correction.
Yes.
And that's the key. 7 was a crash.
It was a crash.
This year, this past year, it's just a correction. It's correcting itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, which is natural. It's, at some point it's like water, you have to find its level. We're at a balanced market right now.
Exactly. I agree.
Which I think is fantastic. To talk a little bit about what's important for most people when they look to buy a property. Is it proximity to work? Is it schools? Is it near their church or shopping? Tell us a little bit about logistically what people are going to be looking for.
Husbands and guys,
whatever your wife wants.
Do not care. Whatever the wife wants. And a lot of times, if they are a family.
Now, my wife has picked out our last 3 homes, so I'll go with that.
My wife has picked out our last 3 homes, so I confer with that. But wives usually are looking for a couple of things. One, the school districts are major buying. What's the word I'm looking for?
Motivation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Major buying motivation. And number 2, if not number 1, security. Right?
Yeah. Like safety.
Those are the 2 big things, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times I think we tend to put our own thoughts on our buyers, which can be dangerous because we think, oh, well, price is going to be the number 1 thing. A lot of times prices doesn't even come into the top 5.
That's right.
It's they want schools so that they can provide a great future for their children. They want security to know that they're safe.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've only got a few minutes left. This thing has gone fast. So tell us a little bit, if somebody wants to reach out to you, give me your contact information, phone number, email, that sort of thing.
Yeah. If you're looking for real estate, my cell phone number is 512-487-9325. You could call or text. I'm available on both. If you're looking for a career in real estate, I'd love to talk to you also about that and see how we can get you in. And we actually have an opportunity for people, if you're looking, where we can get your schooling done for you for free.
Nice.
So yeah, whether you're looking for a home, I got a great team behind me that can help you with that. If you're looking for a career, that number is 512-487-9325. And if you want to email, it's b_love@kw.com.
Awesome. And it may be a good time. I think it's still a good time to buy property, but maybe a good time for people who are looking for a career change, maybe to look at real estate as a career, because a lot of the competition is getting out of the business,
Yeah. I mean, there is, I think, 19,000 agents here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that might scare a lot of people. But when you understand that only about 9,000 of them actually do business and that the rest, I don't know what they're doing with their license, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It amazes me.
And if you have to live in your car like Ben did, then you could even do that.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
I'll just say this. If you feel that like God is giving you the talents to serve people, right? This is a really great career.
It's a great career.
If you are a server at a restaurant, if you were a teacher, these are careers where people excel at this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Business owners, right? We'll teach you, we'll give you the systems and the models that it takes to run a successful business. And the awesome thing is that it can change your lives.
Well, and something like Keller Williams being one of the top, maybe the largest real estate company in the world, is a training platform. So you want to start with somebody like KW.
You definitely do. I mean, I don't want to pat our own back, but we are an education company.
Absolutely.
And the other part of it is we teach you to brand you. You're the market. You're the reason why people will choose you. The name brand behind you is we're just here to support you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a few minutes here to wrap up, but tell us a little bit about the short term, in your opinion, as an experienced agent and now team lead, the short term outlook as best you can, and maybe the long term outlook. There's the crystal ball idea. It's always kind of fuzzy sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm always been bullish on Austin, Texas, or the surrounding areas, Greater Austin. Give me your feedback on, and you're a positive guy. I listen to you a lot on Instagram.
I would say this is number one for people who are actually looking don't get discouraged. There are a lot of opportunities out there. I think finding the right agent to help maneuver this market is always going to be key. If you're looking to buy, I'd say find a professional like Mark. Mark, if you guys don't know, has a transparency program where he basically walks you through everything in the mortgage. And so, who you surround yourself with is very important. Who's
I
your
couldn't agree
tribe?
more. Who's your team?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're buying, I'll be honest, right now, home builders it's hard to beat some of the deals that they're throwing out there.
We didn't hit on that, but I want to wrap up with that point right
Yeah.
there. The difference between a resale and a new home. We've only got a minute or so, but I'm usually priced out of the new home market because I'm not part of their preferred list, but that's okay. If it's best for the client, I think that they should know the new home market.
Yeah. So what happened is during that boom, they overloaded their houses. They built houses and flooded it, and then all of a sudden it turned, right, and now they were left with all this inventory. So you as buyers and as consumers get to take advantage of that. And right now they're offering they're doing interest rate buy down.
Right.
They're giving you $15,000-$20,000, right? They're throwing appliances and they're throwing everything at you to build incentives to come and buy their product, right? So look, teaming up with the right people, your tribe, who is it?
Exactly. Well, that's a wrap for us guys today, but I've really enjoyed having been on here. It's always a pleasure to visit with you and listen to you. And if you need a really good advice on real estate here in the Austin area, call my buddy Ben Love. See you next week.
Appreciate you, Mark.